History is constantly being rewritten and revised. Improved research techniques and technical knowledge have made some of the history we learned in school the stuff of myths and legends. But we often have no idea and continue to perpetuate falsehoods. It's time to get up to date. Don't forget to subscribe for more interesting videos. Number 1. The birth of Jesus. December 25th, 1 AD, is not Jesus's birthday. According to the Roman calendar estimates carried out, in the Middle Ages, and a meticulous review of biblical texts, Jesus was born in early January, 4 years before the Common Era. Number 2. Albert Einstein. If you've ever used the notion that Albert Einstein was terrible at math to justify your own incomprehension of the subject matter, you'll have to find a new excuse. It's not true. In fact, not only did the German physicist not fail a single class, he also mastered differential and integral calculus at the age of 15. Number 3. The Vikings. Vikings are commonly depicted as adventurers wearing helmets sporting 2 long horns, and yet there's no evidence to support this portrayal. Archaeological excavations have never uncovered any such helmets. For many, the image comes from the work of a Swedish artist or from Wagner's 1876 opera, in which the warrior wears this type of helmet. Number 4. The Spanish influenza. The Spanish influenza isn't Spanish. It's thought that the name comes from the fact that Spain was hit hard by the 1918 flu pandemic. New theories place the virus's origin in Kansas, in the United States. The Spanish flu caused anywhere from 30 to 100 million deaths from 1918 to 1919, according to various recent estimates. Number 5. The crash of 1929. The stock market crash of October 1929 caused distress and despair, but no businessman jumped from skyscraper windows to their deaths, as history has taught us. In fact, only 2 suicides were reported on Wall Street, and both were committed with revolvers. Number 6. The Pyramids. Hebrew slaves did not build the pyramids of Egypt. Recent archaeological discoveries show that the Egyptians erected these immense structures themselves. This widely held belief comes from a comment by former Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin while visiting Egypt in 1977. Number 7. Cleopatra. Cleopatra, the celebrated Queen of Egypt, 5130 BCE, was Greek. Her family, which refused to speak Egyptian, was part of a dynasty originating in Macedonia. Cleopatra was educated and spoke several languages. She learned Latin through her relationship with the equally famous Julius Caesar. Number 8. The guillotine. The famous or rather infamous guillotine, frequently used during the French Revolution, was invented by Antoine Louis, not by Dr. Joseph Ignace Guillotin, as history has led us to believe. Guillotin suggested the device be used to make decapitations more humane. He was rather displeased that his name became associated with the machine, but he didn't lose his head over it. Number 9. The red telephone. The famous red telephone, connecting the American president in Washington to the head of the USSR in Moscow, never existed as such. Direct communication was established after the Cuban Missile Crisis in 1963, but it took the form of a colorless telegraph line. Number 10. Buddha. Buddha, the founder of Buddhism, was not fat, as he is often depicted. Statues of a fat, laughing Buddha are in fact representations of a Buddhist monk. Number 11. Santa Claus. Coca-Cola didn't create the Santa in a red suit that we all know today. Though the soft drink company largely popularized this image with its ads in the 1930s, other companies, including Colgate and Michelin, used Saint Nick's image well before Coca-Cola. Number 12. Napoleon. If you have a Napoleon complex, You may be compensating for your short stature with overly aggressive behavior, but maybe not. In fact, at 5 feet 7 inches, Napoleon Bonaparte, 1769-1821, was slightly taller than the average man of the period. Number 13. The Witches of Salem. Not one of the people accused of witchcraft during the Salem witch trials, 1692, was burned at the stake, as history would have us believe. Several dozen people were tortured and hanged. The myth of purification by fire is the source of this legend. Number 14. The Chastity Belt. Knights departing for the Crusades during the Middle Ages did not invent the chastity belt. In fact, mention of the belt does not appear until the 15th century. It seems that women used them to protect themselves from rape. Suspicious husbands later used chastity belts to prevent their wives from engaging in sexual relations, or masturbating, in their absence. Subscribe our channel for more interesting videos.